What if it rained every single day for weeks, months, or even longer? Imagine waking up to dark clouds every morning with no dry ground beneath your feet and no warm house to protect you. There are no umbrellas, no waterproof clothes, and no place to escape the endless rain. Could you survive? For ancient humans, this wasn't just a scary thought, it was a real challenge. Long before cities, roads, or modern technology existed, our ancestors depended completely on nature. When the weather changed, their entire lives changed with it. Thousands of years ago, early humans lived as hunter-gatherers. They found food by hunting wild animals and collecting fruits, roots, nuts, and plants. They had no farms, no supermarkets, and no way to store large amounts of food. Every day was about finding enough to eat and staying safe. But when heavy rain lasted for long periods, everything became more difficult. Rivers overflowed, forests became muddy, and familiar paths disappeared underwater. Animals moved to new areas, making hunting much harder than before. The rain also created new dangers. Wet clothing made people cold, especially at night. Slippery ground increased the risk of injuries, while strong storms could destroy simple shelters built from branches and leaves. Even starting a fire became a difficult task. Without fire, people couldn't cook food, stay warm, or keep dangerous animals away. Every rainy day tested their ability to survive. But ancient humans were not helpless. They carefully watched the world around them. They noticed where the land stayed dry the longest, which caves offered protection, and which trees could provide shelter from the rain. Instead of giving up, they learned from every storm they faced. Their greatest strength was not powerful muscles or sharp teeth. It was their ability to observe, think, and adapt to changing conditions. As one storm followed another, these small lessons became valuable knowledge. Parents shared what they learned with their children, and each generation became a little better at surviving difficult weather. Over time, this knowledge helped humans overcome challenges that seemed impossible. Still, one important question remains. Finding a dry place to sleep was only the beginning. How did ancient humans protect something even more valuable? Their fire. Without it, survival during endless rain would have been nearly impossible. As the rain continued to fall, ancient humans quickly realized that surviving meant more than simply waiting for the weather to improve. They needed places that could protect them from the cold, the wind, and the constant water. One of the safest shelters they discovered was natural caves. Caves kept the rain out, blocked strong winds, and provided a dry place where families could rest. In areas without caves, people became creative. They built simple shelters using strong branches, large leaves, grass, and animal hides. These shelters were far from perfect, but they offered enough protection to help people survive another day. One of their greatest challenges was protecting their fire. Fire was the center of daily life. It provided warmth on cold nights, cooked food to make it safer to eat, gave light after sunset, and helped keep dangerous animals away. But heavy rain could easily put out a fire that had taken hours to create. Ancient humans learned to keep their fires inside caves or under covered shelters where the flames were protected from the rain. They also gathered dry wood whenever the weather allowed and stored it in the driest places they could find. Every piece of dry wood became valuable because they never knew when the next storm would arrive. Survival during endless rain was not something one person could do alone. Families and small groups worked together every day. While some people repaired damaged shelters, others searched for firewood, collected food, or watched for danger. Parents protected their children, and older members of the group shared knowledge gained from years of experience. This teamwork made humans much stronger than they would have been by themselves. It was one of the biggest reasons our ancestors survived when many other animals struggled. Over time, ancient humans became excellent observers of nature. They noticed which trees provided the best protection, how animals behaved before storms, and where fresh water collected safely. Every storm taught them a new lesson. Instead of fearing the rain, they slowly learned how to live with it. Their intelligence and ability to adapt turned nature into their greatest teacher. But even with dry shelters and protected fires, another serious problem soon appeared. Heavy rain changed the behavior of animals and flooded many familiar hunting grounds. Finding enough food became harder than ever. So how did ancient humans feed their families when the world around them was soaked with endless rain? Even after ancient humans found shelter and learned how to protect their fire, their biggest challenge was still ahead of them: finding enough food. Heavy rain changed the entire landscape. Rivers became wider and faster, forests turned into thick mud, and many animals moved to higher ground in search of safety. Hunting, which was already difficult, became even more dangerous. The tracks hunters normally followed were washed away by the rain, making it much harder to find animals. A hunting trip that once took a few hours could now last an entire day without success. Instead of giving up, ancient humans changed the way they searched for food. They learned that survival depended on being flexible. When large animals became difficult to hunt, they looked for other food sources. Rivers and lakes became valuable because they contained fish and other small aquatic animals. Using simple wooden spears and handmade tools, early humans caught fish that helped feed their families. Although fishing required patience and skill, it often provided a more reliable source of food during long periods of rain. The rain also brought unexpected opportunities. Many plants, berries, roots, and wild fruits grew more quickly after heavy rainfall. Ancient humans carefully observed nature to learn which plants were safe to eat and which could make them sick. This knowledge was passed from parents to children, helping each generation become better at finding food in changing environments. Every lesson they learned increased their chances of survival. Sharing was another important reason humans survived. When one group member found food, it was often shared with the rest of the family or tribe. This teamwork meant that even if one hunter returned empty-handed, the group could still survive because others had gathered plants or caught fish. Working together gave humans a huge advantage over many animals that had to survive on their own. Whenever possible, ancient humans also tried to save extra food. They understood that another storm could arrive at any time, making it impossible to hunt or gather for several days. Having even a small amount of stored food could mean the difference between life and death during difficult times. But despite finding new ways to eat, another invisible danger remained. Endless rain created cold, damp conditions where sickness could spread more easily. Exhaustion, disease, and freezing nights threatened every family. So, how did ancient humans overcome dangers they couldn't even see? The answer reveals why intelligence and teamwork became humanity's greatest survival tools. And we'll discover that after finding shelter, protecting their fire, and discovering new ways to find food, ancient humans still faced one final challenge. Endless rain brought cold temperatures, wet clothing, and constant dampness. Living in these conditions for long periods could make people weak and sick. Small cuts could become infected, and spending too much time in the cold could lead to exhaustion. Without medicine or hospitals, even a simple illness could become life-threatening. Every day was another test of survival. Once again, humans relied on their greatest strength, their ability to think, learn, and work together. They stayed close to their fires whenever possible because fire helped dry wet clothes, provided warmth, and cooked food that was safer to eat. A warm fire also gave people comfort during long nights filled with rain and storms. It became the center of family life, where people rested, shared meals, and passed on important knowledge to the younger generation. Teamwork made an enormous difference. While some members of the group searched for food, others repaired shelters, gathered firewood, or cared for children and older adults. Everyone had a role to play. If someone became sick or injured, the rest of the group helped them instead of leaving them behind. This cooperation increased the chances of survival for the entire community. Unlike many animals that survived alone, humans became stronger by supporting one another. Over thousands of years, these experiences taught ancient humans valuable lessons. They learned which places stayed dry during storms, how to build stronger shelters, how to keep fire alive, and how to find food even when the weather was against them. Each generation passed this knowledge to the next, allowing people to become better prepared for future challenges. This ability to learn from experience and improve over time became one of the greatest advantages in human history. The story of endless rain is about much more than bad weather. It shows that humans did not survive because they were the strongest creatures on Earth. They survived because they were curious, adaptable, and willing to help one another. Every storm they endured made them wiser, stronger, and more prepared for whatever nature brought next. So, the next time you hear rain falling outside your window, remember that your ancestors once faced storms far greater than anything most of us will ever experience. Their courage, intelligence, and determination helped shape the future of humanity. Without their ability to adapt, our story might have ended long before it truly began. If you enjoyed this journey into the lives of our ancient ancestors, let us know in the comments whether you think you could survive weeks of endless rain with only Stone Age tools. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more amazing stories about ancient history, psychology, and human behavior. Thanks for watching.